Gulf Cooperation Council has announced an extraordinary meeting in Doha following the recent Iranian attack on Udeid airbase. This call was prompted by Iranian strikes targeting the base, with Iranian state television reporting a military operation against it. GCC Secretary General Jassim al-Bidawi stated that the 49th extraordinary ministerial meeting would address the implications of the Iranian missile attack on Qatar. He emphasized the GCC's solidarity with Qatar and affirmed that its security is integral to the Council's overall stability. Qatar has summoned Iran's ambassador after the attack on Al Udeid airbase, calling it a serious breach of sovereignty. Condemned the Iranian Revolutionary Guard strike as a violation of Qatari airspace and international law. Ministers of State for Foreign Affairs Sultan bin Saad al-Marikhi said the move contradicts good neighborly principles. Qatar reaffirmed its right to respond and urged to return to diplomacy to prevent further escalation. The Israeli government has announced the implementation of a ceasefire agreement with Iran, asserting that it had achieved its strategic goals of eliminating the Iranian nuclear and missile threat. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated that Israel accepted the ceasefire initiative proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump, warning that any violation would be met with a strong response. Following the announcement, Israel claimed to have established complete air control over Tehran and inflicted significant damage on Iranian military leadership in key government sites. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has announced that he instructed the military to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with intensive strikes against targets in Tehran. This statement followed the Israeli military's report that its defense systems were intercepting missiles fired from Iran, urging citizens to stay in protected areas until further notice. Katz emphasized that in light of Iran's complete breach of the ceasefire declared by the U.S. president, the Israeli government would continue aggressive actions against Tehran to thwart its military and terrorist infrastructure. Israeli President Ishaq Herzog has visited Beersheba, where an Iranian missile strike killed 4 civilians and damaged homes and businesses. Herzog called for the military operation a major step forward for the safety of Israel and the entire world. Despite the tragic loss, he praised Israeli leadership and the U.S. for their roles in the strike that targeted Iran's nuclear capabilities, saying it removed the Iranian nuclear threat looming above Israel, the region, and the entire world.
This is a terrible loss, but it also shows exactly who we are facing. We are facing an evil enemy, which has decided.
The Israeli occupation military has confirmed that a ceasefire with Iran had officially come into effect following nearly 2 weeks of intense cross-border strikes. Israeli occupation military spokesperson Brigadier General Efi Defrin said the Israeli occupation forces had achieved all objectives of Operation Rising Lion before the truce began. He added that the military remains on high alert and is prepared to respond forcefully to any breach of the ceasefire. Despite the agreement, Defrin noted that roughly 20 missiles were launched from Iran early this morning, just hours before the ceasefire was enacted. Most were intercepted, but one struck a residential building in Beersheba, killing at least 4 and injuring others. Search and rescue teams were still operating at the scene.